Adeptus Mechanicus, Biologis, Tactica, Threat Archive, Threat Designation, Chaos Spawn, Imperial Classification, Hostis Extremis / Unstable Warp Mutant Entity, Theater of Operations, Hive Tertium, Atoma Prime, Primary Source Material, Field Documents, Manufactorum Security Stills, Auspex Fragments, First-Hand Testimonies from Morningstar Penal Operatives, Rejects. Recorder, Biologist Unit Sigma 9/Theta, Clearance, Magos Biologist and above. Prefatory note. This document concerns the entity designated Chaos Spawn. Previous informal field designations used by penal operatives were inaccurate but understandable given survival stressors. This unit affirms that the Chaos Spawn is not a baseline heretic nor a disciplined asset. It is the terminal result of prolonged warp saturation acting upon a once human host. No intact specimen has been recovered for sanctioned autopsy. Biological remains degrade rapidly post-termination, collapsing into unidentifiable organic slurry or evaporating into warp-tainted residue. Analysis is therefore derived from battlefield observation, recovered fragments, security-picked captures, and survivor testimony. Rejected Ogren testimony archived.
It was bigger and dumber than I is. Kept growing, didn't like shooting it.
This unit acknowledges the statement. It remains non-credible. It remains stored. An account provided by Ogren auxiliary personnel stating, "It was bigger and dumber than I is," has been logged for completeness. It is not accepted as a credible source. It remains archived. General overview. The Chaos Spawn represents chaos excess without discipline. Where poxwalkers are decay stabilized and dregs are belief weaponized, the spawn is mutation unrestrained. It is not deployed, it emerges. Chaos spawns are not produced intentionally in a controlled sense. They are the inevitable conclusion of warp exposure combined with fanatic devotion and physical resilience. Survival past this point is accidental. Continued existence is hostile. Reject accounts describe them as wrong, unfinished, or still changing. This unit concurs. Physical characteristics. Chaos spawns exhibit no stable anatomy. Limb count, body symmetry, and skeletal structure vary not only between specimens, but within the same engagement. Security stills show limbs retracting, splitting, or merging mid-movement. Common features include excessive musculature with no clear attachment logic, multiple mouths, eyes, or sensory organs, bone growths erupting externally, flesh exhibiting elasticity beyond biological tolerance. Mass fluctuates during combat. This unit suspects internal matter displacement through warp interaction rather than metabolic growth. Classification as humanoid is no longer valid. Armament organic. Chaos spawns do not carry weapons. They are weapons. Limbs function as bludgeons, piercing tools, or constrictors depending on current mutation state. Some specimens exhibit hardened keratinous growths capable of penetrating carapace armor. Others display prehensile tendrils used to immobilize targets prior to dismemberment. No two engagements demonstrate identical attack patterns. This unit classifies the Chaos Spawn as tactically unpredictable and therefore disproportionately dangerous. Behavioral patterning. Chaos spawns exhibit extreme aggression with no evidence of self-preservation. Movement is erratic, violent, and occasionally erratic enough to injure itself. This does not impede function. Target selection appears proximity-based. However, reject accounts suggest a fixation on the most mobile or vocal targets. Psychers report heightened warp agitation in the creature's presence. There is no retreat behavior. There is no fear response. Cognitive assessment. No evidence of retained human cognition has been confirmed. Vocalizations consist of screams, roars, and distorted remnants of speech. Linguistic fragments occasionally resemble Imperial Gothic words, though meaning is absent. This unit cannot determine whether these sounds originate from residual neural patterns or warp echo phenomena. Further inquiry is discouraged. Security still analysis. Manufactorum footage often shows chaos spawns emerging from confined spaces too small to logically contain them. Frames between appearances are corrupted. Auspex readings spike, then collapse. This unit concludes spatial distortion accompanies manifestation. Interaction with other hostiles. Chaos spawns are not commanded. Other heretic units avoid them unless forced. When present, lesser enemies reposition to allow the spawn to advance unhindered. This suggests experiential knowledge of danger rather than doctrinal control. Comparative threat assessment. Unlike the Chaos Pawn misclassification, the Chaos Spawn cannot be reasoned with, predicted, or efficiently countered through doctrine. Firepower remains the only reliable solution. Delay increases casualty probability exponentially. Reject survivors describe relief only after complete destruction. Partial incapacitation is insufficient. Doctrinal implications. The Chaos Spawn represents chaos without intent. It does not serve. It does not believe. It exists as a warning. Devotion without limit results in loss of form, purpose, and identity. This unit records the observation without moral interpretation. Conclusion. The Chaos Spawn is not an enemy combatant. It is a failure state given motion. Terminate at range. Do not engage alone. Do not observe longer than required. Do not attempt capture. There is no recovery. End comprehensive log. Data sealed. Thought purge. Strongly advised. Omnissiah preserves structure.